I'm Lyn Beazley and I'm going back to school with Student Edge.
Hi, I'm Simon Miraudo and today I'm chatting with Professor Lyn Beazley, 2014's WA Australian of the Year and the state's Chief Scientist from 2006 to 2013. Hi Lyn.
Hello, good to be here.
Thank you so much for chatting with us today and going back to school.
It's a long way back.
No. Now, you've had such an illustrious career and you're so fantastically recognised, but you have to start from somewhere. So I'm curious, what high school did you go to and what kind of student were you at that time?
Well, let me first of all say I'm an only child and of quite elderly parents who'd never ever thought of anyone going to university in our family. So I was a first, but they were very supportive as parents, and you can tell by my voice I'm not Australian. I was born in Britain and I went to the local high school. It was an all-girls school in those days. Gravesend Girls Grammar School, GGGS.
So how early in did you become sort of enamoured by science? Was it an immediate thing for you?
I have to say I wasn't the hardest working student when I first got to high school, but then I began to realise, gosh, this is your life, this is a chance for a career and doing something wonderful and seeing the world. But what really got me focused was that you've heard of Charles Darwin, who came up with the theory of evolution, changed the way we think a lot about all the living forms on our planet. So his house was quite near our school, and we had one excursion that I can remember, and it was to his house. And there was a really friendly guy there who was looking after the little sort of museum in his living room, and there was his microscope. And they let me look through his microscope, and I looked at some of the specimens he'd collected around the world, some from South America, some from Australia, from Albany, for example, here in Western Australia. And I just thought, I want to be a biologist, and that was it. And I've been working on animals and plants all the rest of my life.
That's fantastic, and that was the moment that
was it.
That turned you into a better student
Yes,
as well, was it?
I think it did.
Were there any specific teachers that you really felt a kinship with or that you felt was a real mentor to you, even if it had nothing to do with science, just someone you felt really supported your learning?
Yes, I think there were several in school, and I think that's always important. When you speak to most people, they will say there was one teacher that said something or had confidence in you and said you can do it. And I guess there were several for me, but the main one was a botany teacher. She was the one who actually took us to Charles Darwin's house, and she'd always talk about things that were relevant in the news, that were important. So you could sort of see science in a world context, and I think that's terribly important. It is today, as we're trying to develop better crops to feed a hungry world, to make sure we protect our forests and the like. So science wasn't something dry and just in a textbook. It was something there that would influence our lives day in, day out. And that was what was inspiring about her.
When you were looking at your life and planning out, where I might want to be in the next 5 years, did you ever imagine that you would have a new species of sponge named after you? Which, by the way, is my favourite discovery of your accomplishment.
Thank you very much. It lives 230 metres down below the surface, so I'm not going to have a face-to-face encounter with it.
It'll never know its namesake.
I'm unbelievably proud. I could never have imagined that. It was just fabulous. I was lucky enough to meet Sir David Attenborough, and he's got lots of species named after him. But I could say, I've got a sponge named after me, Sir David.
Exactly.
That was very special.
I'm not going to attempt the pronunciation, but can you...
Manihini Lyn Beazley.
Thank you. I thought it was that. I just wanted to double check.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check. Well, then, just before we wrap up, can I ask for one piece of advice that you would like to impart to young people today?
Increasingly, I think we have to work in teams, because these days it's very much, if you want to get something done, you've got to get people working with you and supporting you. So being a good team player, being a leader, but also then when it's your turn to be a follower, to be part of that team and to make things work.
Thanks so much, Lyn. It was so nice to meet you.
My absolute honour.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel or find more of our stuff at studentedge.com.au.